Okay, so in this video we're going to take a look at checking equivalence of objects. So we have this fraction, and I cleaned this main method up a little bit from the last video. I know we had a lot of comments and stuff, so I just basically shrunk it to just have one fraction and a print line. But anyway, we're going to check for equivalence. So let's say fraction, other fraction equals new fraction, and we're going to say 1, 2. And I'll just print this. Um, we'll just say other fraction. Now we're going to say if my fraction is equivalent to other fraction, let's print the same. Else, sorry, I spelled that wrong. Else, we're going to print not the same. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. And you'll notice that even though it printed them out, so it printed that my fraction was 1/2, and it printed that other fraction was 1/2, but it still says they're not the same. And that's because it's checking the references for, like, the memory address for these, okay? And it knows that although their values are the same, it's not actually the same exact object, okay? Which isn't what you want to check when you're checking for equivalency. And the way to fix that is with a method called equals, okay? So we're going to go ahead and implement. So let's say, we'll generate it. So let's say alt insert, override methods, and then equals, okay? And rather than the return here, and you'll notice that it just takes a generic object, any object of type object, which is anything, and we're going to change this a little bit. And what we're going to do, we're going to say fraction, other fraction, equals, and we're going to cast that object to a fraction, okay? Because we know that we're going to pass it a fraction. In other cases, you may want to check using the instance of method, and you can basically see if it is a fraction and then cast it, but we are just going to cast it, okay? And we want to say if numerator, so we're referencing ourself, okay? So we're going to say if our own numerator is equal to this other fraction, and we're going to say dot get numerator, okay? And then we also want to say and our own denominator is equal to the other fraction dot get denominator, then return true. Else, return false. Okay? Let's go ahead and run this now, and then we can talk about that a little bit more. And then rather than using the just those two equal signs, we're just going to use the dot equals method and pass it this other fraction object. So let's go ahead and run this. And now you'll notice that it prints out that they are the same, okay? And I know that we use some stuff you may not have seen before. If you watch the previous tutorials, we've talked about casting, but we've never talked about casting to an object type. And here, I'm just going to actually show you guys this. So we're going to say if obj is an instance of fraction, then we'll do all this stuff, okay? Else, here, actually, I'm going to do one thing just to show you guys. We're going to say if obj is an instance of string, return false, okay? S out, the object you passed is of string type, okay? Oh, and then we just need one other thing. So if it gets all the way down here, we know that it is false. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to pass it, I'm going to make a new object, string s equals Donnie. And then I'm going to pass it that s. And if we run this, you'll notice that in here, it determined that that object we passed was a string, so it just let us know that, hey, you passed us a string, and it automatically returned false to print out not the same, okay? So that's how you override the equals method, and that's also how you compare objects, not just primitive data types, okay? So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.